Today we celebrate the feast of the three archangels who are mentioned in the Bible by name. All these three angels are God's messengers. Michael, like we find in the first reading, is God's messenger in battle with the devil. Gabriel is, as in Luke chapter 1, God's messenger of good news of salvation, and this message is given to Mary. And Raphael, as in the book of Tobit, is God's messenger of healing. Jesus speaks of himself as the Son of Man, on whom the angels of God ascend and descend. If the angels are God's messengers, Jesus is God's most complete messenger, because he is God in human form. For we read in the Gospel of John that the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Later in the Gospel of St. John, Jesus said to his disciples, "As the Father sent me, so I send you." Jesus sends us as his messengers, and that's why before Philip called you, I saw you under the fig tree. Our calling and mission is predestined, since God is all-knowing. Jesus also knows what we really are like. We can't pretend before him to be what we are not. And that is why he exclaimed, "Indeed, a true Israelite." God knows the real you and wants you to follow him, who is the ladder between heaven and earth, and through him, Satan's access to God is forever barred. And I quote in the first reading that this great dragon, the ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, the one deceiving the whole world, was thrown down to the earth with all his angels. Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. That is why, and I quote, "The blood of the new and eternal covenant is poured out for you and for many who have denounced Satan at baptism. Hence, we receive him in the unbloody sacrifice to become one with him. Hence, we hear the voice," and I quote in the first reading, "Now salvation and power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ have come." The kingdom that we constantly call upon in the Lord's Prayer when we say, "Thy kingdom come." This blood of the Lamb that we receive in the Eucharist conquers Satan and makes Christ the ladder between us and the Father. Let us pray through the intercession of these powerful archangels that we celebrate their feast today, that we may be warriors for our fellow brothers and sisters, that we may be the medicine of God, who heal God's people like Raphael, and that we may become God's messenger of good news like Gabriel. Saints Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel,